been speaking of the DCU and James Gunn, Creature Commandos is out. I know it's been flying really under the radar. I didn't even know it was out. Our friend Noble introduced the show to us whenever he visited us, and it was just a huge surprise. We all loved it. But it is the official launch of the DCU. It's all, written, directed by James Gunn. He's even in the intro. But it's a little animated show for this team that's very similar to Guardians of the Galaxy, but it's a bunch of creatures and monsters of the DCU that have been locked away from the world. But like the Suicide Squad, they're put into a mission for the U.S. government. And I really like the show. There's been 5 episodes so far, and it's just really refreshing. It's super funny. It's really gory for a show. It's a lot of fun. And yeah. But before we go into a little spoilers, what's your take on it, Cam, so far?
I really like it. What you said, it's really goofy. It also has a lot of emotional parts to it. There's, it's just a really good mix of being funny, being emotional, and then the fighting scenes. You don't really get that a lot in TV shows or nowadays, like the superhero TV shows. They're always just serious and fighting. That's really it. You don't get that goofy, the emotional scenes and the fighting scenes that work well together, and
Yeah.
especially another thing that I like is that this show, even though it's animated, it's gonna be canon to the new DC universe. So I think that's kind of cool of how James Gunn is doing that, having animated shows or movies being canon to a live action universe.
Yeah.
That's what I think is really cool, because you don't see that with Marvel at all. It's usually 2 separate universes. You got whatever show they're doing that's animated, and then you have the MCU. They really don't combine together unless they make some kind of reference to it, but I just think it's kind of cool that they're making it at least canon.
Yeah, it's some of it hasn't been done before. The highlights I could think of the show. So now if you haven't watched it, go and watch it. But this is the time where if you have watched it, you want to know our thoughts right now. So personally, one of my favorite highlights of the show is freaking Frankenstein. He is so funny, and he really emerged in episode 4 and 5 with his goofiness. He's basically become the Drax of the group.
Yep.
And yeah, and his just obsession for what's her name? The bride. In the most random and just spots you wouldn't expect it. He just mentions her in the completely wrong spots, and it's just really funny. I really like Flag. Flag is he's the good, strong man keeping everyone together, but he himself, he can be goofy at times. He's human,
Diablo
so he doesn't make
too.
the yeah. Dude, Diablo 2. Don't know what his name is. Phosphorus or something like that. But
I think so.
yeah, his name is Phosphorus, but we have to call him Diablo 2. Diablo was in the first Suicide Squad movie. But he just, I don't know, just his power set is basically Diablo. But he's a really good character. He is brutal. His fight scenes are brutal, and then he's also got really good witty comments. So I really like him as a character. I like all the characters. There's something about all of them. They're either funny, they either have really good action scenes, or they're really, kind-hearted, like the fishbowl girl. They all have really good qualities, and some of these characters have all these qualities put together. So he's done a really good job in a very short amount of time making us like these characters, because the episodes are only 20 minutes long. We don't get a lot of time with them, and we already have built up a good relationship with these characters.
Exactly, and actually making a good team, and you don't really see a team be likable. For the Avengers, you don't really get to see almost every single character get loved. In Guardians of the Galaxy, for example, that's a James Gunn adaptation of it. He makes every single character be enjoyable. And then also in Creature Commandos, even though you have Weasel as a little gag character, you also kind of feel emotional or you feel relatable to him by a sense. So that's why it kind of makes it like fitting. I don't know. I just think from that Weasel episode, which was really devastating to see his backstory, he's just, it make me like him even more.
Yeah, he's making us feel for these dumb characters, and it's great. Like, we should not care for these characters, but the writing is really good, and I dig Creature Commandos so far.